What's up, guys? Welcome back to Timekeeping Journey. Today we're going to be looking at the Vostok Komandirskie. This is my daily wear watch, and yeah, let's get into it, I guess. I actually have the Amphibia here too from the last review, so we can compare side to side. But let's start off by talking about the Amphibia. The Komandirskie. Okay, this is the yellow variant of the Komandirskie. They make tons and tons of different kinds of these, of the Komandirskie. They even have a separate yellow version that has a date window, and it has a little bit more black on the bezel. But yeah, very, very nice looking watch, very different. I think it pops the yellow, and yeah, I actually really, really like the look of this watch, which is why it is my daily. It's obviously an automatic, and this has self-winding, so if you unscrew this, it has that classic Komandirskie wobble. The crown, it doesn't stick straight out, it like wobbles a little bit. That's actually to prevent something from breaking if for some reason something gets crushed in there, or the stem breaks or whatever. Because of that design where it's wobbly, it won't damage the actual watch. But yeah, it's a nice watch. I already have a pretty nice gouge on the buckle right here, but it is holding up well. It has another acrylic glass or mineral glass, so that is not scratch resistant, so make sure to have poly watch for all of these kinds of watches. The bezel does rotate. It is bi-directional, so you can go either way, but it doesn't click into place. So randomly, I don't use for keeping time or anything or tracking minutes, but there have been times when I always like to keep it centered, and then sometimes I'll look at it and it's off-centered because it's very easy to move. So don't rely on that for actually keeping track of minutes. But other than that, it is a very nice watch. This one all in was about, I think I paid $120 for it. It also has the 200-meter water resistance, just like my Amphibia. This one is actually considered more of an Amphibia than a Komandirskie, just because most of the Komandirskies they're not automatic. You have to manually wind them all, and they usually only have like 50 meters of water resistance, and usually it's a nickel coated, like bronze or something like that, like a very not great material. And that's specifically why I targeted this one, because this whole thing is stainless steel, and it has the automatic on it, so I don't have to wind it up, and it has the water resistance, so I can go swimming with it, no problem. I haven't taken this into water yet. I was like watering some stuff before, cleaning some stuff up with the hose, and I got this very wet literally earlier today, and no issues. I don't see any water getting in it. But probably before I go to the beach, I will have to make sure that bottom is screwed down very tightly because of the issue that I originally had with my Amphibia. Yeah, and I obviously did not get the date window version because I don't want to have to deal with it. Has these, if you get them with the date version, they also have that thing where there's no quick set, so you have to go to 12 and then go all the way back to 8, then go to 12, and then it's annoying. I'd rather not deal with that. The bracelet is pretty weak. I'm actually noticing tons of scratches on it already. So yeah, take that as you will. The edges right here, like on the inside, are pretty sharp, whereas on my Amphibia, it's more rounded off. Also, I guess if we want to compare them head to head, here's the close-up of the like difference in size and difference in colors. Yeah, if I hold them side by side directly, you can see that the Komandirskie is much bigger. Also, because the whole front end of it and the top and everything on it, besides for the bezel and the links, are all brushed. it makes it look more rugged, whereas this one's all polished, so it makes it look a lot nicer and fancier, in my opinion. Obviously, you might think otherwise. But yeah, right away you can notice the different things. So like this is still, even though I paid 120 for each of these, like 120 here, 120 here, there is quality differences between the Amphibia versus the Komandirskie, just in general. Like with the Amphibia, you get applied indices, and they look really nice and they're brushed. And on the Komandirskie, the whole watch dial is just printed. It's just a printed dial. There's nothing like fancy or anything that sticks out about it. So yeah, it's not the end of the world, obviously. It's still a very nice watch, but those little things you can see the difference. Also, obviously, the bracelet being much, it's rounded off, it's nice and shiny. It just makes it look more prestigious. Whereas this one, the middle is polished, but the sides are brushed, which I guess adds to that rugged look. And I guess also maybe the whole thing should have just been brushed, because that inside polishedness is getting tons of scratches just from my daily wear. And you don't notice it on the sides because it's all brushed. Also, the case itself, as you can see right here, it is sharp. It's not a rounded off edge. So this is actually sharp. And even right here, it's like super sharp. This can actually cut you. Yeah, like if I drag this along my skin, it would actually leave a mark. It's very, very sharp. Whereas with the Amphibia, everything's rounded off. Even over here where the links meet, it's rounded off. You also notice with the bracelet, you get a very generic bracelet, so there's a huge gap in between the bracelet and the actual watch case. Whereas with the Amphibia, it meets it, so it looks more clean. It looks like it fits. This looks like someone just put a random watch band on this that isn't necessarily OEM, but obviously it is if it has the Vostok logo. The inside of it is all brushed, just like the Amphibia, so you don't have to worry about micro scratches or anything like that on the inside. I do really like the look of this watch. That's why it's my daily. So even though I'm complaining about all this stuff, more times than not, I haven't noticed most of it. Like even the bracelet being not rounded off and having, like a sharp edge, I haven't noticed anything. It doesn't pull any hairs. The clasps are exactly the same, actually, the buckle. And even the case, I haven't scratched myself on any of this or on the case itself. So yeah, I mean, I'm just bringing it up so if that's going to be a, make it or break it for you. But for me, I really, really love this watch. It is my daily wear. I like this whole rugged look to it, but it still has a nice presence. It definitely wears bigger on your wrist than the Amphibia, and it also has that domed, but because the case itself is much, much bigger, it just fits nicely on your wrist, at least for me. I have a 7.5 inch wrist and around circumference, and this fits very, very nicely. Yeah, and I love the presence. I love there's very nice heft to it. It feels really good. And yeah, the one thing I wish it had was some kind of Vostok branding on the actual dial. All it says is Komandirskie, I assume in Russian, on the actual dial. There's nothing that says it's a Vostok at all. You do get that little sergeant logo, or maybe, I don't know, some kind of military logo over there. And as I said, you could get these in a bunch of different variations. This specific one, I think, also comes in red. But the Komandirskies come, blues. You can get tanks on them. Submarines is the famous one. But those are all manual winds. So be sure, if you're looking for an automatic specifically, to check that the Komandirskie that you're looking at has the automatic feature. But that is my review, and I've been wearing this for about 2 weeks now. I got this the day I got back from Hawaii, actually. So I ordered it so that it would come the day that I came back from my vacation, because I thought that my Vostok was ruined, my Amphibia, but it wasn't, thankfully. Yeah, very, very nice watch. Highly recommended. Definitely pops. This would look great on like a yellow NATO. I've seen people rock a yellow rubber strap on it. Looks really, really nice. There's lots of different things. It's so versatile. It's so, you can dress this up, you can dress it down, you can dress it casual, you can wear it however you want. I think it looks amazing and works with everything. You do get a little bit of a different box with this one. I don't know if all Komandyrskies come with this box, but this specific variant did. It's like double the size of the one that the Amphibia came in. It actually came bubble wrapped, and my Amphibia didn't, which I thought was a nice touch, just to keep it safe. And you still get the same little watch holder thing there. Crappy little box, but it does the job. And for what you're paying for, I can't see a better watch than this. The only things I can see, my next watches I'm probably going to try to pick up are the Casio Duro, just because I really want one of those. Cheap dive watch. It is a quartz, so I'm going to go back to quartz. But it's just a classic. I feel like I have to have it. And I also want to get the Invicta Pro Master, I think it's called, or Invicta Pro Diver. So Invicta Pro Diver, I do really want to get too. That's also about like $70-$80, depending on the color and where you get it from. But that's also a really nice automatic watch. And that's more of like a Rolex homage, I guess, more of like a copy, but yeah. That's also a very good deal for an automatic movement watch. And I believe it has the Seiko NH35 in it. Both of these have the Vostok in-house automatic movement, so that's also nice to know that they have their own thing. But yeah, highly recommended. And my entire watch collection up until now we're up to date. So let's see what I get next. If you have any recommendations, if anyone's even watching this, let me know. I'll definitely check it out. Super nice watch. Highly recommend. I recommend both of these, honestly. You can't go wrong with any Vostok. They're all pretty nice, and they have all these different, all these different looks. I'm sure you can find something that you'll like. But yeah, anyways, until next time.